Hey guys, today's video is in response to questions asked by Robbie. So he says, could you talk a bit about variance? And a separate question, how many tables to play? He's linked the two, but they're separate topics. So variance is inevitable in poker. Heads up is going to be the lowest form of variance. Spin is going to be low as well. Then empty tees is going to be real big variance. I'm not sure where cash falls into it, but basically the more players at the table, the more top heavy the prize structure. So spins actually have a decent amount of variance for a 3-man format because they have the 10x's and the 100x's, which affect your profits. Empty tees, because they're so top heavy, massive fields, it's going to take your whole poker career to level out. It probably never will. You probably never know exactly how good you are at empty tees just because of the nature of the variance. So could you talk a bit about variance? It's inevitable no matter what games you play. I played heads up, which is the lowest form of variance, and I had extreme variance throughout my poker career. I was net under so much money at crucial times as well. Shot taking 1Ks, running 300K into EV. Variance is brutal, and I think when I think about the difference in mindset between the high stakes and the low mid stakes guys, I think the way they deal with variance and downswings says everything. So it's one of those things that's out of your control. When you sign up to be a poker player, whether you like it or not, variance is coming your way. You're going to have losing days. You're going to have losing sessions where you play great, do nothing wrong, and you lose money. Can you deal with that? You're going to have to, because it's inevitable. It's completely out of your control. So being a high stakes player, I've got the mindset of I don't worry about things I can't control. Yes, it's annoying. If you have a losing month, but you play great, your EV line's awesome, and you've lost money, it's really annoying. Variance in the short term can be annoying as well. Losing sessions, but you've got to toughen up and zoom out. So you've got to use logic. If you are a poker player, there's a lot of luxuries that come with it, a lot of good stuff that you can have the freedom of your own time, work from anywhere in the world, pretty much. Well, limited, but still more place than most people. But variance, you haven't got a steady income. You've got to overcome a lot of psychological issues around the swings of money. But I think as you play for longer, as you get a longer sort of results to fall back on, you can always zoom out. So rather than looking at a week's graph or a month's graph, you start looking at a year graph or a 2-year graph if you're an MT player, and then don't get too caught up in the small ones. So I think the short-term results in some games tell nothing. In heads up, for example, a week sample would tell something, a month sample would probably tell you a lot more. Same for most of the formats. So keep working on your game, keep improving, and just remember variance is going to be around. You need to learn how to deal with it. You need to learn to use logic and look at your lifetime results to help you deal with it. If you haven't got lifetime results to look back on, then you need to take in your results a bit more seriously and go, okay, maybe I am not a winner player because that's all you've got to go for. If you haven't got any results to fall back on, it's a bit more difficult, but everyone's got to build up from somewhere. Then how many tables to play? Completely, like literally, there's no answer to that question. So you can play 1 table through to 14, depending on what you're playing and your skill level. So tables for me, I used to play 1 table when I started out for the first year. I added a second table, maybe second year, about second year. I was quite slow to add 2 tables, and then I stayed on 2 tables. I actually went to 3 tables against the fish, but I stayed on 2 tables against regs, and then added a 4th. For me, the biggest jump was 2 to 3, and then 3 to 4 was okay. But yeah, how many tables? Like literally, I find you can train yourself to do almost any, depending on the format as well. You can train yourself to do more and more. So I think just don't worry about it. Just always try to increase and keep the ROI. So I'd say if you do 2, stretch yourself, try and do 3, but always monitor it. So when I increased tables, I used to do it, say I was a 2-table player and I wanted to play 3. When I was fresh at the start of my session, I'd add a 3rd table for an hour and I'd monitor how I felt, how the games went. The first few times I did, I was like, this is not good, I'm not playing well. And I just limited to an hour, stopped, and I went back to 2 tables. And I did this for a week. And after a week of doing this 1 hour, I was like, oh, actually, I'm feeling a bit less rush. Because when you're adding tables, you feel more rushed. It feels like less time to make decisions. You just got to get used to that feeling. And over time you can. So just stick at it and you'll be able to add more tables. Cash or tourneys, which one reduces variance the most? Very generic question. Tournaments are generally the most variance. Cash, I'm guessing you're referring to 6 or 9-seater cash games. They're going to be a lot less variance than tournaments. Tournaments are the ultimate high variance, especially the big field ones. And the last part of the question I want to leave because it's I struggle with the mental side of the game. Any tips? The mental side of the game, there's literally, I could do 15 videos on that one. The mental leaks is probably 15 different categories, so you'd have to be more specific on that. So bring it all back to the question, variance, learn to deal with it, learn to zoom out and see your full graph and your full results. And then for how many tables to play, always try and increase your tables to the point where you can, it's always generally worth it at a table. So you're going to try and, you're going to lose a bit of EV, your chip EV is going to go down a bit, but you're going to make more money by being able to play more tables, have a multi-table skill set. So play around with it, always be looking to add tables over time.